So if she shows up, I'll hear the bell. Right, is everybody ready to start?
Yep, ready to.
Okay. So last week then, what I did is I introduced everyone to a colour chart using the using your own set of watercolours. So the idea of that was to have some sort of idea about what happens when we mix different colours together. So today what I'm going to do is extend on the colour theory bit, and we're going to do a really quick colour wheel. Okay, a really quick method of doing it, but also it's interesting to see again what happens when we mix all of these colours together. Oh, there's Karen. Someone else. There she is. Just arriving. Good. All right. So now before I do that though, I was going to show you how to mix different greys and browns just using the three primary colours, which is red, yellow and blue. So I'm going to sort of go through all of that, show you how to do browns and then greys, and then hopefully you'll be able to apply some of those ideas to your paintings when we're working on those. I've got a couple more paintings to show everybody today as well, because I thought there was a few little interesting bits in here that are worth having a quick look at. So we've got this pheasant here, and we've talked a lot about Joe McFadden. Right, I'll have to get back to him in a second. So this pheasant, we've talked a lot about wet on wet techniques, and the interesting thing on this one is that once the wet on wet is nice and dry, this artist has used some dry, working back over the dry area with some squiggles and dots and things, so you can add in some finer detail over the top. And we've also got that thing that I really like doing, which is adding in the little splatters in the background, which I've done on my dog that I've been doing recently. So there's that one. There's Philip. So the next one is I just grabbed this one because I'm doing a little picture of a smaller picture of this cow over here, a Highland cow, and I chose it because we've got them down at Earthingborough Lakes and Meadows, and they're such beautiful things because of their hair, aren't they? So I thought I'd have a go at doing a Highland cow today. So I've got that photo up there, this one, that I'm going to use today to do that. Yeah, so and what I'm doing with that is I'm doing a little bit of pen to start with, and then I'm going to use some wax resist, the candles that we've used before, and I'm also going to use some masking fluid as well, but I'll show you that in a little while. And then over here we've got this lovely rabbit one. So you'll notice that on a lot of the pictures that I've showed you, the backgrounds are actually they're white, aren't they? And that works very well with watercolours, because it brightens up all of those colours and makes them look fresher. And indeed it does it a lot. It does it quite a lot on this rabbit as well, because the white of the paper comes through the translucent areas of the colours and makes them a little bit brighter and fresher. But I like this one because it kind of goes with a lot of the stuff that we've been doing. So you can see, if we look quite closely, all these lovely marks, perhaps a bit of salt going on in there as well. So it's really quite beautiful. So there's that one. I thought I'd show you that. So what I'm thinking of doing over the next few weeks is working with backgrounds and things as well. So we'll be looking at foliage, how to do plants and things that we can then apply to the background of our paintings and explore that a little bit more. So if you remember that lovely watercolour book with the animals and the poems in that I showed you, it kind of goes with that idea of decorating using foliage in the background, or indeed just creating a really nice background. Alright, so we'll have a look at the desktop now. So this is what we did last week. So we've got, this is the colour chart, so just to explain that very briefly, so we had the colours in order from the palette painted along one side of this grid, and the colours in the same order painted down the vertical axis, and then when you join the two of the same colours up, you've got the same colour in the middle, and that creates a diagonal axis through the middle of the same colours you've got down the sides and at the top. And then of course when you start mixing different colours together, you get different versions or different colours altogether. So mixing the purple with the red, you get this kind of browny red, orange, and this purple or violet, you get a brown, and so on. So you get a bit of a reference chart, if you like, of all the different colours that you can use to paint with and to reference when you're working with the colours in your palette. Okay, so this is what we did last night, and I thought I'd have a go and show you that this morning as well. So we're going to use three basic colours which I've taken out of my palette. They're a bit mucky at the moment. So the first one I've just picked up here is, it always gets dirty on the side, is a turquoise blue, because it gets this lovely bright colour just here. Right, okay. Sorry, I'm just looking at Joe McFadden. I'm gonna text him the code again in a minute. Right, and we've got a cadmium yellow hue as well, so that's a nice primary colour. And we've also got cadmium red deep. So we've got those three primary colours which we're going to use to mix everything up. Okay, so if I get a blank sheet of paper, and my brush, and my palette, of course. Right, so we'll start straight away with the old colour wheel. So mix the cadmium yellow, and we're going to put that straight down onto the surface of the paper. One thing you can do to help you out a little bit is draw a circle to sort of glue it in. So put your colour down and a little bit of water at the side. Then we'll get the cadmium red. And put that just a bit further around. And then, as you could probably have guessed by now, when you mix the two areas together, you get the orange appear. So it's a nice way to see what these colours can do. Just going to get a bit more yellow in there. And the other nice thing, of course, with watercolours is those colours are going to mix together as well as we work. So I'm going to get this lovely blue, put it over here. So I chose this because it's a nice vivid blue. So if you don't have the exact colours that I'm talking about here, then use, ones that are pretty close as far as you can see. So we're going to mix those two up now with some water, and we start to get this nice purple appearing in there. Just going to get a bit more blue, bring that over, let it do its thing, and then obviously the last bit there is the yellow. So then you get the green, and then as those colours sort of bleed into each other with the water, you'll get everything in between as well. Just add a bit more water there. Okay, so we've got almost automatically we've got a colour wheel just using the three primary colours that I've got here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is mixing all three primary colours together and seeing what happens with those. So I've got my red here, I've got my blue, and I've got my yellow. So I'm going to mix those three together with each other. So I get my red, get my blue, get my yellow, and we end up with this kind of a browny colour. So I'm just going to make that a bit stronger. So that's red, yellow. I'm making a bit of a mess here this morning. Right, there we go. So we've got a nice brown. And then of course you can vary those colours by adding very different amounts of each one. So if I add a bit more red, quite a bit of red actually, to that one, then I'm going to get a much warmer brown. So starting off with the stronger bit, like that. And then if I add much more yellow, get more of a yellowy brown. So all from just three colours we've now created some browns as well. So as you're aware, if you've had me talk about greys before, if you mix opposite colours from the colour wheel, so we've got say a purple, this one's gone more blue actually, so just put a bit more red in there. So if you take a purple and a yellow and mix those together in equal amounts, what you're going to get is more of a grey. So I'm going to make up a purple over here with my red and blue. So there's my, let's have a bit more red in there, that's quite bluey. Right, there we go. So that's quite a deep purple. And then if I mix the opposite colour with it, and you might have to fiddle around a little while to get it perfect, or to get it where you want, but there are an unbelievable amount of different greys as well that you can mix. So here, look, using purple and yellow that I've just mixed, using just primary colours, we now have a pretty clear grey colour just there as well. Okay, so have a little try at mixing these colours using the palette that you've got. I'll run out of tissue here, and see if you can mix some nice greys and browns, as well as try a mini colour wheel. So look, on here we've got yellow, we've got purple, we've got where is it, blue, and we've got the red. It's all got a bit mushed up now. So we've got the yellow, blue and red, which are the primary colours, and then the secondary colours are the green, the purple and the orange, just there. And then everything in between is going to be your tertiary colours. So if I just go over to a different screen, I think I've got a colour wheel to show you somewhere. There it is. It's over there. I moved it out yesterday. There it is. Right, so there's the colour wheel, and you can see in the middle there we've got the primary colours, so we've got red, blue and yellow. The secondary colours are around the outside, green, orange and purple, and then you can see on the circle on the outside all of those colours, but it includes the tertiary colours. So that is the basics of colour theory, but you can see how just using primary colours from your colour palette you should be able to get a whole range of different colours for your painting. Okay, so today what we're going to do, once you've had a little play around with that, if you wanted to do that, we're going to continue with our painting. So I have done, well, I'm sure everyone remembers I did my otter. Oh, he's upside down. Hold on. So there's my little otter that I did last week, and you can see he's dried off quite nicely. So this was all done in biro and then watercolour over the top, and then I used some of those techniques that we'd tried out in the background. So I'd used masking fluid, salt, and I think I used a few other little things on there, but I've made it quite fluid and brush strokey in the background so that it has this kind of fluid watery feel, whereas the otter itself is much more tight, if you like, much more controlled. So I've also been doing the dog a little bit more last night, so I'll show you that too. So here's the dog. So I'll just straighten that up, doesn't look quite straight, that. So here is Mr. Dog. I need to straighten up my camera, I think it's a bit wobbly. Get in a bit closer. So yes, what I did yesterday with the dog is I was inspired by, as I said to you before, I was inspired by how some of the artists have used all these different colours. So although my dog looks pretty close to the real thing there, I suppose, what I've used is some purples and some yellows in there to sort of add a little bit more spice to it, and then I've used some blues and purples just in the background there, using wet on wet. So I'm going to work back into that shortly as well. Alright, so I hope everyone's happy with that. So we're continuing with the animal theme and everything today, and hopefully next week we'll be doing a little bit more work on foliage and things. Alright? Everyone alright?
All muted.
Yeah, I know. Is everyone okay? It's all gone very quiet.
Because we're all muted.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I've just got to send Joe the code because for some reason he hasn't received it. So I'll go and do that now. Zoom. Oh, I'll be back in a tick. I'll just go and do this. we go. So is everyone doing all right?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, good. I don't know if anyone's been on the website, but what I've done is I've put everybody all the artworks that you've been posting. I've put together into a gallery that's now on the website. So if you haven't been over, do have a look, because it's nice to see everyone's work together. And if you click on the an artwork that you're interested in, it will bring it up a little bit bigger so you can have a closer look as well. But it's really nice to have a look at everyone's work together on there as well. I also put a short video on the website about what I've just talked about the colour mixing and things as well. So have a look there too. And if you want to go through again a bit on the colour theory. Okay.
Jamie.
Yes, hello.
I did a squirrel the other week.
Yeah.
And my poor squirrel, when we looked at him, he was too fat, so I had to truncate him.
Truncate him? That doesn't sound nice. Sounds like an operation.
Well, it was a bit, because I tried to go over it with gesso. To back it out.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
And then redid the back and his tail.
Yeah. Did it affect the way the paint went on the gesso? Because I imagine it would actually.
It did a little bit.
Yeah, because it's a bit thicker, isn't it? Gesso's quite a thick medium normally.
It was the only way I could actually block out everything I'd done before.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't soak into a paper then, does it?
Sorry, what was that?
What, the paint? No, the paint didn't. But I think I shall probably leave him alone now.
Yeah. Did you put him on? Have you sent him out? Have you put him online or anything? I can't remember.
I did before I altered him, and when I realised that I'd made his body, his back was far too long, and he looked all out of proportion. I did at that stage. I haven't done it since.
Yeah. Oh. Well, that's one of the things, isn't it? You know, looking out for the proportions of things as you're working. One little tip is to, and you'll have heard me say this before, is to stand back from it and just have a look at him before you launch into it and things. If you see what I mean.
I didn't do that early enough.
Yeah. Hello, Joe.
Jamie, I've finished my
Hi.
pheasant.
Oh, great. Okay. Have you got him?
Made a bit mess of it.
Oh, hang on. I'll just.
No, that's
Oh
good.
no, it looks all right.
Very good.
Yeah, I can't see it up close. Obviously, it's a bit harder with the lighting and things on here. But I like the splattering you've done. It looks like it's just, like how you're walking along and a pheasant suddenly appears and frightens the life out of you because it makes so much noise. It's a bit like that, isn't it? Yeah, that's really cool.
I thought I made a bit of mess over this side.
Yeah. Well, I can't see all the detail on here, but if you post it, if you photograph it and put it onto our Facebook page, I could probably see it from here, couldn't I?
Okay.
If I put it on the, you could post it from your phone or something, couldn't you? I suppose.
Yeah.
I'll have a quick. I'll get over to the page.
Jamie, last week someone had used where it dripped down.
Oh yeah.
They've done that on wet on wet.
Yeah. What you mean where you tip the board up and then the paint kind of blends into it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, I did that last night on the dog just over here. So I wet the page, but only where I wanted the paint to go, and then I put the paint on, moved it around a little bit, and then I just literally tip up the board like that and just wait and just let it and watch it do its thing. I'll do another one on a little bit of paper to show you in a minute, if you like. Yeah. It's a lovely, it's a nice technique. It's nice to watch it actually doing all the mixing, isn't it, as you're working, as you're putting the colours on. Joe, are you okay? You're muted at the moment, Joe, and I can't see you, but I hope you're all right. I'll go through what I just talked about.
How's that?
Hi, Joe.
How's that?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I thought I'd put you on the contact list for the email. Maybe. Yeah. So it sounds like either something's gone wrong, or when I put your name in, or I didn't. So I'll check that after the class so that we don't have any delays next time.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry about that. I can show you what I just showed everybody else with colour mixing as well, so that you get that bit. There is a video on exactly what I've just talked about on the website as well, but I will show you again so that you've seen it like everybody else. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. So we were talking about primary colours and how to use them to mix a whole range of other colours. And I at the end there I showed everyone the colour wheel, which is just over here. So you'll know that the primaries are there, the blues, the reds and the yellows. So what I've done is I've chosen 3 primary colours from my big watercolour set. So I've got a turquoise, I've got a cadmium red, and I've got a cadmium yellow as well, and I've used those to create a really quick colour wheel.
Yeah.
Just going to wipe my palette over so I can start fresh. And then what I talked about afterwards was mixing browns and greys using those 3 colours as well. So I'll just do that. And it's worth trying it out because you can see what those what your paints can do and things too. So I'll move over here a bit. So the thing that I did first of all was drew a circle like that for my colour wheel.
Sorry to interrupt.
It's all right. Yep.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
But you've started to move, and I've got you frozen.
Oh right. Okay.
But you're starting to move now, so that's fine. And I
Okay.
could see you, but you were just frozen.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Keep me informed, because if I freeze at any point, I need to stop recording or something. But it seems to be working all right for once. All right. Okay. So I'll just get a bigger brush, and I'll zoom into that so we can see it a bit better. There we go. So basically what I did is, first of all, I started with a bit of the cadmium yellow, mixed it in my palette just here. And the idea is to let the water mix your primaries together. It just, it's a nice way to see how the watercolours work, but also the colours. So it's like a bit of a wet on wet, if you like. So there's the yellow on there, and then I went over to the cadmium red. So if you haven't got those colours, just get the nearest thing you can find to it. I've chosen a turquoise blue because that was, quite a nice bold bright colour. So you put your red down alongside, but with a little bit of a gap. And then we can use the water to bring those colours together. Like that. And because there's water on there, it should kind of, gradually blend and mix in together. Yeah. And then the turquoise blue, use quite a big gap round here. And obviously when we mix those 2 together, we're going to get purple, and then if we mix the yellow and the blue together, we've got a kind of green. So it's a really nice quick way to create a colour wheel using those primaries, and you can see what those colours are going to do when you mix those together as well. So as you saw on here, we've got those secondary colours, which are the purples, oranges and greens, and then everything in between as the watercolour mixes, you're going to get your tertiary colours as well on there. Okay, so the next thing that I did was I created a few browns. So we get the blue, and we'll mix some red in with that to create the purple, and then you can use varying amounts of each colour to mix
Different browns.
Different browns, yeah. So we've got that nice chocolatey sort of colour just there, and then if I add just a bit more red, we're going to get a warmer colour just there.
Yeah, that's how I make my greys, because I don't have a black.
Ah, yeah, that was the next thing I was going to say, is that yeah, when I mix the greys, first of all I started by making a, let's say making a purple, so I do use the opposite colours on the colour wheel to make your greys. So I've got the blue, I've got the purple, and if you mix equal amounts of the purple and say the yellow, and it might take a bit of fiddling to do, but generally yeah, it does work. Yeah, so there you go, I've got a nice, got a lovely grey there, and you can get all sorts of, as you probably are aware, you can get all sorts of different greys that are really effective for using in the sky and stuff like that. So that was the general gist of what we talked about a few minutes ago. Yeah? Okay, now I'll show you, these are the paintings that I talked about at the beginning. So this one of this pheasant, it uses, you can see that it's used a wet on wet for the main bulk of the body and the tail and stuff, and then when that was dry, or drier anyway, you can see on the body there that there's more wet on dry background to get some of these details. So it's a way of perhaps loosening the paint and then controlling the paint to get those details on there. There's a nice pheasant picture. I don't know who painted that, I just sort of grabbed it from Pinterest. That's where I get a lot of stuff. And I'm down at Earthling Lakes. We have some of these lovely beasties, the Highland cows, and so I really like this picture as well, where I've got all these lovely colours in there, these yellows and oranges. So I thought I would have a go at doing something like that today. And then yeah, and then this one I pulled out because what I'm aiming to do in the over the next few weeks is to look at backgrounds a little bit more, particularly foliage, how to paint foliage. But this was quite an interesting painting because, as you can see, a lot of these pictures we've been looking at have got white backgrounds, and that's, you know, to enhance these colours and make it feel fresh and contemporary. Whereas you've got this one, which is quite dark, but then you can see in the background there's little bits where the salt has been used that we've been playing around with over the last few weeks as well. So you just put a bit of salt crystal on a wet area and it soaks up the paint, makes a really nice texture. Sorry?
It's water splashed as well.
Yeah.
While the paint's been drying a bit, it looks as though it's had water on it as well.
Yeah. So yeah, a bit like on, I mean, you can see it on my colour wheel at the moment actually, if I go back to that. So I don't know how much closer I can get in. You can see just around here, look, how the paint has got this lovely sort of watery texture on it. Actually, some of the other ones that I've done, look, beautiful sort of patterns on there that come through if you let the paint do its thing. So yeah, so I thought we'd have a look at some of that over the next few weeks, and then
Good, yeah.
yeah, and I also showed everyone this again. So you saw me working on this last week. So so your controlled pen and paint on the body, a bit wet on wet there, but then I've been a bit more looser in the background with the marks, and I've used the salt and things, so a little bit like the hair. Yeah, very loose after a very controlled area where I really want people to see the detail. Just there.
Yeah.
And then the doggy that I was doing last week, the hound. It's not really a hound, but, you know. So this one I was quite controlled about how I wanted the to get the shapes and things, and the eyes and the nose I painted quite carefully to get that in the right place, and then I've gradually built up layers of paint. So last week you would have seen me put on this kind of browny yellow ochre orange over the whole of the picture. Then I built in with some browns, but last week I worked into it with yesterday I worked into it with some purples as well. So as you're aware, purple and orange, because I just talked about it, purple and orange are opposite on the colour wheel, and we also the blues as well. Sorry, the yellow and the purple are opposite, but the blues and the oranges, which I've got in the background, are also opposite. So you get a bit of contrast in there, and it makes it have a bit more energy and things too.
It does. It's better than putting it as a grey. It makes it pop a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and there are some like browny greys in here as well that I've used, so it kind of tones it down rather than just letting it be really bright. So using those greys just like levels things a little bit, but then using the opposite colours is going to make it pop too, which is really fun to do. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm starting to find out how rare grey is.
Yeah.
A lot of these dark colours, they're not grey at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you just think, oh, that's grey, I'll get black, don't you? But when you start playing around, you realise what you can do, and you can really create a lot of feeling and atmosphere with these greys, can't you?
That's right. Yeah, because I don't even have a paint grey or anything in the palette anymore.
Oh right, okay, yeah. I've got a Payne's grey.
Yeah, no, I've got a few dark blues.
Okay.
Strong blues.
Yeah.
I can use that way. I don't have a grey.
Yeah. So I mean, if you've got a blue and you mix, say, an opposite colour, so you could perhaps mix a bit of orangey brown in there, then you'll start to get some different greys with it, won't you? So
that's right. Yeah.
This is
why. You can make, if you use like I've got a burnt umber that makes. You can make virtually a black with it.
Yeah.
With an ultramarine blue.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to avoid using grey at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I showed you the colour wheel, but also when you've got the mixing chart that we used last week, you can start to really play around with colours and be a bit more controlled about it. Because often, it's you've got the palette and there's all those colours there, and you're thinking, well, which green am I going to use or whatever. But just having that in front of you is a useful reference.
That's right. I mean, green's my big thing. I can't do green because I'm colourblind.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah. Yeah.
So I try and avoid green at all costs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got to get. There's a student at my school, and I don't know the name for what she's got, but she can only see things when they're in pink, which is
strange.
Yeah, really unusual. Yeah.
Never heard of that one.
No, I've not. But every lesson, I kind of. I've got her a sketchbook in pink. I've done all these different things, and every lesson she'll say, "Well, sir, I can't see it if it's not all in pink. So what do I do?" So I have to then go and photocopy something for her. Bless her.
onto pink.
Yeah. Even if it's an artwork or a painting, she said, "Well, I can't see half of it because I can only see the pink bits." So
Yeah.
I thought that's quite a rare condition, I think. But yeah.
That sounds a bit dodgy to me, to be honest.
Well, I've been told that she does play on it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you do what you can for these kids, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. My other monitor's gone off now, which isn't very useful.
I'm going to go on with these bloody birds.
That's better. Bit disconcerting when all the screens go blank.
Can imagine.
You think, ah!
And everything just disappears on it.
Yeah, you think, oh, what do I do now?
Crazy.
The wonders of technology.
I
Oh,
hate technology.
yeah. Sometimes I wonder why I don't hate it more, to be honest.
My last classroom was set up just like this with electronic boards
Yeah,
on every wall so that everybody could see electronic boards.
yeah,
And every day they broke down.
yeah, yeah,
Every day I had a problem with it.
yeah.
Usually because I'd been writing on it with my fingers.
Oh, right.
And the kids say, you have to use the pen. And I'd be just scribbling on it with a bit of chemistry or whatever.
Yeah. Well, they all market it as being really easy and wonderful technology, but then there's always little problems that and
Yeah.
nobody knows anything about them, and you have to go and find out for yourself, don't you? That's what I've had to do.
You have to break it yourself.
Yeah, at
Before
school.
you can fix it.
At school at the moment, because we're not supposed to walk round and help the kids. We're not supposed to get close to the kids. We have to wear like a mask or visor or whatever if we do go near them, but we're not supposed to. So we've got visualizers now that are connected up to the computer,
Yeah.
and it projects your desk or whatever you're demonstrating, and it's brilliant. But the computers in the school are so old, you know, that they can't keep up with it. So you can't do it any more than use the visualizer, and then sometimes it just goes off. You go, oh, sorry kids, I'll just put it back on again. But you know, there are benefits to it, but it's
The problem with IT, you have to have the basics before all this clever stuff will work.
yeah,
And schools don't buy the basics.
no,
They don't.
no. But I mean, I quite like. I mean, one of the things that I like doing is writing my lesson on the board, because it kind of it helps me get out of my head what I'm going to do, and then I've got something to refer to when I'm teaching, you know. So,
Well, that's what I used to do.
yeah, write it all on the board, and you think, oh yeah, I need to do that as well, and then it all comes to you, and then you're not as worried about starting the lesson.
Exactly. You know where your first sentence is going to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And that,
yeah, yeah, and then after that, hopefully, it all sort of flows a bit.
all falls. Yeah.
Yeah,
It does if you know what you're doing.
yeah, yeah.
Good old-fashioned techniques, eh?
Yeah, yeah. No blackboards, just whiteboards though.
Used to love our blackboards.
Oh, you do? Yeah,
I used to love them as well.
Yeah.
yeah.
I used to love them as well.
Where I remember just like when the teachers would be writing, you know, with the chalk, and it'd make this horrible squeaking noise, and everyone would go, "Argh!"
Yeah. Ew.
Yeah.
That's
But we
the
used
best.
to get
That's
the
the,
chalk thrown at you.
yeah.
Yeah, I had that at school. You're not paying attention, you suddenly there's a blackboard rubber in front of you. Yeah.
That used to be a norm.
Yeah, yeah. I thought I'd just show you these. I took these off the board. Remember I put them onto hardboard. I took them off and pulled the tape off, and it's made quite a nice. It's nicely presented in a way, really, because you've got this nice bit where the tape was around the edges. So I just thought I'd mention that. It's quite useful.
Can I just show you something?
Yeah. So I just hang on.
I don't know if you can see. I've started this.
I'll just try. Oh yeah, badger. Yeah.
Badger, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've just done loose background. I don't know if it's worked or not. Like wet on wet, loose.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I'm working on with the gel pen on top.
Oh, over
Just
the
to give it
badger
more-
and that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. With the dog that I'm doing at the moment, I've done all the watercolouring I'm going to do, I think, and I'm working back over with some colour pencils next. So I'm going to add a few more highlights into it, and maybe some loose lines and stuff. So that should work.
I've got this pen.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh, you
gel
got the
pen.
white pen. What is that? A white gel pen?
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a black one. Sorry.
Where's my parcel?
Oh.
then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They work very well on the watercolor. I found that the white pens don't work so well over like black pen.
Oh.
Funnily enough, it fades a lot of the time, the ink. But over
Yeah,
watercolor,
it is-
over watercolor, like on these, it worked quite well. Like if you look at the newt, got these lovely highlights
white-
on there.
White goes kind of like bluish and greyish.
Yeah, it does.
doesn't
Yeah. I found that in my sketch. I'll go and get my sketchbook and I'll show you what happened. So the other day I was drawing a cat. I don't know why I was drawing a cat. I just thought I'll draw a cat. So there's the cat. But when you look closely, I've used the white gel pen on there, look. Just here. And it's all gone blue. Very blue.
Yeah.
So I'll probably use, I might try a bit of white pencil on there, or perhaps even a bit of white paint if I can be bothered. But yeah, so that's what happens. It does go quite blue. That's happened in other places as well. But over the top of watercolour, it works very nicely. Yeah, look, there's another one with the weird raccoon. The eyes, I went round the eyes a bit, and they came out blue as well. So I'm using a white pencil over the dog at the moment to bring out, add a little bit of highlight. The pencil is still quite transparent, but it does add a little bit of white highlighting to the face, as you can see on there. So and one of the reasons that I'm doing that is to well, it is lighter on the face in certain places, but also it just adds a bit more punchiness to the picture, brings out some of the light areas and the dark areas against each other, contrast, to help things pop a little bit more as well. Yeah, Joe, I'm sure I put your name on the contacts because I asked you for your email, didn't I? As well.
That's right, you did.
Yeah, I'll have a look after class and check that it's there. Maybe it's typed in wrong. Maybe I put it in wrong, but I'll have a look.
Yeah, it's just my name, joemcfadgen@amsn.com.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've got it on. You sent it to me over Messenger as well, didn't you? I think.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
God, I'm painting with virtually water here.
Yes. If you're using when you're doing the painting as well, if you do it in layers and let each layer dry in between, you can build up quite a rich sort of colour scheme on your painting as well. That's essentially what I've done on this. Is layered different level, different.
Yeah, you can see that just around where the fur comes away from the mouth.
Yeah.
Been layered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that with these flaming two birds that I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
But I'm virtually painting with water at the minute because they're a very pale colour, but it's quite textured.
Yeah. It's what I did in the first class, and I've been doing it here as well. Is I've got a couple of paintings on the go at once, so that while you're waiting for one to dry, you can nip over to the other one. If you see what I mean.
I've never got that organised.
Hello? Mute. Let's mute.
Jamie, quick question, please.
Yeah, who's that?
It's Judith.
Ah, hello, Judith.
Hi.
Hi.
I was away, or I wasn't able to be on the session when we were doing all different splatters and things like that. So I just wondered, I've gone out and bought some of this.
Oh, some masking fluid.
I put it on with a little brush, and does it wash off the brush okay?
Ah, yeah, we've had this discussion, yeah. The thing to do is, so Linda suggested this a few weeks ago, is to put some washing up liquid onto your brush before you use it. Oh, you're off, Linda. She's gonna.
Also, it was soap we used, but somebody else suggested washing up liquid.
Yeah, yeah.
So either hand soap or washing up liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then you dip it in, and then you put it on your paper.
Yeah, only because it's if it dries on your brush, it's horrible, basically. Yeah. And
so
probably
use sort of like an old brush just in case. Then.
Yeah, or a synthetic brush rather than a sable hair brush, if you see what I mean.
You can buy we going back several years ago bought a set of 3 brushes, a very thin one, and then different thicknesses of them. All they've got white. The brush end is white, obviously, as James said, a synthetic.
Yeah.
But what we all used to do was to carry around, the sort of soaps you get in hotels that come in little plastic boxes.
Yes.
We used to carry one of those.
Ones.
Yeah, we used to carry one of those around and use it just for soaping the brush up before we use the masking fluid.
Okay, that's brilliant. I'll go and hunt in the cupboard, see if I've got one. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's all right. Yeah, when I've used it as well before, I've in other lessons I've used these as well. These silicon tipped blenders, and I really like these because it creates quite random kind of looser marks rather than controlled ones with a brush. So if you could try one of these as well. It's quite useful. I'm just about to do some of it actually. So
and does it take long to dry?
It doesn't take too long to dry, but it depends. If you use it quite thick, you'll see that it globs up a little bit, and it needs longer to dry. But it's best to leave it, a little while, I would say. But you can judge it because it starts out looking milky, and then as you use it, as it dries, it goes a bit transparent and has kind of a yellow tinge to it. It's like a latex sort of thing, really. And then
okay, right. Well, I'm going to go and have some fun now. So.
Good. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
oh,
see you
and
later.
Be careful when you peel it off as well.
Okay, I've been watching that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else think that masking fluid is like Copydex? Do you remember Copydex?
Exactly like it. It's the same stuff.
Oh, is it? Is it? I don't remember Copydex that well. I remember the name more than I do using it.
Masking fluid doesn't smell as vile as Copydex.
It's very close.
It does stink, doesn't it? I have to say. Yeah.
This is driving me nuts.
So I'm using this silicon tipped blending stick to put some hairs on my cow.
Is that masking fluid?
Yes, masking fluid. And I like the marks that this makes, so I'm kind of imitating hair using this stuff.
I've found what you've done to tip it. I tip it into a little pan rather than from the pot.
Yeah.
Or you're using it from the bottle.
Yeah.
Or obviously more professional.
Well, I don't know really. Maybe I should be doing that. I'm just sort of going for it, really, I suppose.
Yes, I'm juggling mailboxes this morning, but yes, you did. And you were saying, could we get it into the November issue?
Or is that the Linda? Is that the Rawns Roundup being planned there?
Yes, I just decided to mute it because I could hear Phil. And I thought, yes, he's doing the final run of it before it goes to the printers.
Yeah.
I will mute it again. So
That's all right.
Jamie, I can't get into your Facebook page either, but I think it's because I'm not on Facebook.
Yeah, you've got to join Facebook. Because you'll have to when you click on.
I can't just get the link because I left Facebook because it was such a pain.
It is a little bit of a pain, I have to admit.
Oh, it was just. Ugh.
Yeah. Well, it's complicated. I find it really fiddly, actually, Facebook.
Got a lot of apps as well, and I just thought I don't want this in my life.
No, you're probably quite wise to do that.
Yeah, particularly with America. But at the end of the day, I would like your videos, and I would like to.
Yeah, well, those the videos, I'm not posting them on Facebook at the moment. I'm gonna put them. The ones that I've done are on the website anyway. So if you log on there. You'll
get into the website.
Yeah.
Well, through fine art, that fine art.
Yeah, all capital letters, one word, and you'll get in there and then you can see what videos I put on. If this recording works well today, I shall be putting this one on there just for us, But
I think this class is brilliant. It's wonderful. It works.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, it's lovely. Motivates me to do something.
Yeah, that's what you need, isn't it? A little bit of a push, and if you've got something to go to every week, it's useful from that point of view.
It's a stimulation, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And actually, if you really do know you've been with other people.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get out of this until after Christmas, in a way.
Who knows? It's
Who knows? Yeah, who knows? But we're doing okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's it. He's now got loads of masking fluid lines all over his hair, so I'm going to let that dry, and then I shall watercolour it with a basic layer of colour, and then I shall do some more layers after that, after I've peeled it off.
I like this wet into wet. It's good.
Oh, it looks like I've frozen on the screen there. Yeah.
I sometimes think a wax crayon is better than masking fluid.
Yeah, I was going to do that on the. I might still do it on the background of the cow here. Might still do that, but I went a bit went all in with the masking fluid on that one. So
I used to go to the NEC with the quilters, with the craft group, and I bought all of these things like wax pens, and I'm only just starting to use them now.
yeah, this is it.
You know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like to. I really love experimenting with different materials. You see, so I'm always looking to try something new out that I haven't done before.
Quick question for
Yeah.
Quick question for everyone. Is it just normal masking tape that you use to hold down your paper? Because I've had a problem with it lifting the surface.
Yeah, when I took the masking tape off of the Magpie, I did get a little bit of a tear here, but generally it just came off, and it is the ordinary masking tape that I was using. Nothing special or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes it does catch a little bit, and I wasn't particularly careful with that, but if you're careful.
Jamie, can I? Oops,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm interrupting.
That's all right.
Can I show you what I'm doing, and can you tell me if I think I've got it about right now? I don't think. Can you see it? That's the dog.
Hang on. Wait a second. I've just got to change my view. Yeah, go on.
That's the dog. It's my son's dog.
Oh yeah, the dog. Yeah.
And that is. I can't even see what I'm showing you now.
You show me the drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it about right.
Let's have a look at the photo again.
Because everything's at a funny angle because his head's at an angle.
Yeah, let's have another look at the picture. Yeah, it looks pretty close. I would say have a look at your eyes. Your eyes look a little bit.
I can't believe how many times those eyes have been moved.
Yeah. I think from what I can see here, it looks like your eyes just need adjusting position-wise. They look a little bit close together to me.
Yeah, it's funny because I got Phil to come and have a look at it, and we came to a conclusion. I'm still not certain.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
his right eye looks like it's at an angle because of the way he's looking.
Yeah. Try breaking it down with construction lines, like some really straight lines to indicate where things are going. Because you could move them around quite a lot and not get it quite right. But if you use, like when we draw a portrait or something, you draw a line down the centre. My first thought was if you draw a line straight from the nose at the right angle through the middle of the head, at the right angle, and then do another one for where the eyes are going to go, another line, that gets the angles correct, if you see what I mean, or closer, and then you can work out how far apart the eyes are, so how many eyes are there between each eye, that sort of thing. So measuring, it's a bit fiddly sometimes.
Yeah, they are level.
Yeah.
Who was on the phone, Bob?
Kathy.
Kathy or Chrissy?
Chrissy,
Yeah. She's going to ring me again.
sounds you along.
Jamie,
Yeah.
I'll show you something.
Yeah, sure. Hold on.
Right.
Just put you on. So
That's the
see.
picture.
Badger. Yep. Yeah.
I think I'm going to call it a day on this one.
Oh wow, yeah. Gosh, yeah, that's you can see a lot more of it now. I'll tell you what I noticed on the photo when you showed me it just now. If you bring the photo over again. So, can you see on the log, if it's a log, underneath there's a shadow cast by his head? I think if you put that shadow onto the log using a transparent sort of layer of watercolour, it'll kind of add a little bit more to the composition. Give it a sense. Yeah. I thought that'd be quite. There's probably a little bit around his body as well. I think I can't quite see that from here, but show me your picture again. Your painting. Yeah, I think it'd be worth putting the shadow in there. Definitely.
Just darken it a little bit, yeah.
Well, you can see it's quite a clear shadow, isn't it? So I would just go for it and put that in with a darker brown. But remembering, of course, to keep that dark brown light enough so that you can still see the bark through the shadow. I think that would finish it off. Yeah. Yeah.
Cheers. Thank you.
Okay.
Amy,
Yeah.
how do you get the splatters without getting splattered?
Good question.
I can't do it. I'll just get it all over my hands or all over me.
Is that Jan?
Yeah.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Toothbrush.
Um,
Have you got your toothbrush there?
me?
Even with the toothbrush, I get it all over me or all over my hand. I can't get the direction to go where I want it to go.
Oh right, okay. Well,
Have you got a rough dried old brush?
Yeah.
Paintbrush. You know, one of these which has gone really bad and you can't use it for painting.
Toothbrush.
Or a bristle brush.
Oh no, the brush, the hair of the brush should be really hard.
yeah, that's another. Yeah, the other thing to do is mask off a part. If you don't want splatters on part of it, mask it off with another piece of paper, right? And then I'll just I'll get my brush.
Cover yourself in plastic.
Yeah. Get all your PPE on. Right, look, you can do this. So you can get a ruler. A ruler's quite good to use. Can't find one. Hang on. So I'm not actually going to do it, but you can do it like this. I'm not saying it's not going to go everywhere, but it might offer a bit more control. Oh, sorry.
Try that.
Tapping on a ruler like that is quite good. With your brush.
Yeah.
You'll still get things going awry, because that's the nature of splatters, I suppose. Otherwise, yeah, full PPE. Okay.
Okay.
Where's the phone?
Jamie.
Yeah. Oh, move it up a little bit. Oh yeah, I see. Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit better now because it looks like it's it makes the badger look like it's kind of over the log, if you see what I mean. Yeah. Yeah, that's better, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, nice work. Are you going to put it on the Facebook?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I have put the what do you call it? The pheasant as well.
Oh,
so
brilliant.
I'm gonna do now.
Yeah. Did you put the pheasant on the other day or just recently?
Just now.
Oh, okay. Right, yeah.
When we started the lesson, yeah.
Oh, right, cool. Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah?
I've had a go at altering those eyes.
Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Can I see the photo again? It's probably hard for me to see the eyes on the screen, isn't it? Yeah, it's hard to see them anyway, isn't it? 1, 2.
He's a brown dog.
Yeah, yeah. Let's have another look. Right, so I think the one that's it's on my right hand side. I think that needs to be a bit further down and across a little bit.
The one which has got more of the side of his face, or the one which is
Yeah, so if you're holding it, it's the one on the right side. Yeah, without as much face. I think it needs to go down slightly and across slightly.
okay.
But bear in mind that I can't see the photo as clearly
I can
as
see what you
you.
mean actually, because going on the point of the edge of his head, it's got to be nearer the edge of his head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it does look on the photograph as if it's almost level with the other eye.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bit of a
getting these right is causing me grief.
Yeah. Tricky one, eh?
Oh, that might be what. There's also the shape of the eye that's wrong. Well, he's beginning to look more like a Labrador.
Hey.
Oh, he's not like all sorts of different breeds of dog up until now. He's a lovely dog. He's got a fantastic temperament.
Yeah. That's it. When you got a dog like that, it's good, isn't it?
Well, he had to be. He's experienced 2 young children from birth.
Oh, right.
And he's had the patience of a saint with them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still quite wet, the masking fluid on here, but it is drying, so I'm going to have to leave that a bit longer.
Jamie, have you got your drawing of the dog that you did there?
What, the painting one? The watercolour one? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go
Have
and...
a look at it.
Yeah.
You did the nose.
Okay. I'll go and fetch it. Hold on. Bear with me. Bear with me. There we are.
Yes, it's funny because you're looking up at that picture's looking up at the dog. Mine's looking, the dog's looking down. So it does make a big difference.
So
but it's getting the again. I've got to get that light bit on the nose.
yeah, the highlight's quite important. There are a couple of highlights on there that I didn't get around to putting in actually. So there was one just down here, and one just down there as well, but not as bright as the one on the top. That is actually just paper there. There's no paint on that area.
Yes, Branston's got just one highlight on one side of his nose.
Yeah, that's the bit. I mean, the contrast between the darkness and the lightness on there is what will pick out that shape as well on the nose. Yeah, it's good fun though. I didn't realise how much I like doing dogs until the last few years when I've been doing them in the classes.
Right, thank you.
Okay.